This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Are you up? Are you up? We need some folks to fill those seats.
Yep.
You're waking up to a live look at the St. Charles Jewish Festival. It doesn't kick off until 11, but preparations are well underway, and that gives you some time to get yourself ready to get down there.
Yep.
We'll have more on what you can expect out there in just a little bit. But first off to you, good morning. It is Sunday, August 25th. I'm Travis Cummings.
And I'm Mercedes McKay. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to get to, but let's bring in weather impact meteorologist Tracy Ensign. And Tracy, it's going to be hot.
It is going to be hot. Very similar to what we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Just the heat's going to set in a little later today. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just brace yourselves. It's going to be
So glad I'm
lazy.
not going back to school.
Yeah, those buses.
And warm classrooms, man, those
Oh
just
my
make you
gosh.
sleepy.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'd fall asleep in a warm classroom.
Well, they're fixing the ACs at all of the schools across town. We just got off those propositions.
And
Wow.
just message Tracy on Facebook if you need to know what fans to buy, because she's got a lot.
If it's something weather related for the outdoors to survive it, I've got you covered.
She's your girl.
All right, 81 degrees outside right now. It feels like 82. Winds are out of the south at about 10 miles per hour. Our humidity is at about 52%. All right, our heat index through the day today. So this graph does look a little different than yesterday just because that heat is settling in a little bit later, but it's still roughly the same. Our heat index today, temperatures will make it up into the mid 90s for us, and then we'll drop down. Look at 10 p.m. Still 81 degrees out there. A very warm evening is ahead for us, which is pretty typical for temperatures like this. We have roughly a 20-degree temperature swing every day. So 76 degrees for tonight, winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our sunset is sneaking up on us these days. It's at about 7:41. Coming up, I'll outline the extreme heat we have to start the week.
All right, Tracy, thank you for that first look. Well, this morning, the family of Ferguson police officer Travis Brown says he could wake up in the coming days. He suffered a critical brain injury 2 weeks ago and was put in a coma.
Last night, law enforcement and other members of the community held a fundraiser for Brown and his family. Hundreds showed up at the Drink House in Pagedale. There was food, drinks, music, and a silent auction, and guests say it was all for Officer Brown.
General, just all around, I mean, you can see the outcome. Great dude, great father, very loving dude, always smiling, so, it's contagious when you see him.
You can tell in his pictures he was always smiling. A GoFundMe supporting Officer Brown has currently raised nearly $150,000. You can find a link right now on ksdk.com. Now, Officer Brown's injury happened at a protest marking 10 years since the killing of Michael Brown Jr. Now, what's happened in Ferguson since 2014 has spurred change all across our region.
Especially when it comes to our legal system. Over the last decade, one advocacy group has been in an ongoing fight against those financial injustices.
I actually sat down with that group to discuss how so-called debtors' prisons have been wrongfully impacting dozens of people.
It started with anger and frustration and hopelessness.
It's been a long road for Umi Okoli, a journey that began over 14 years ago and one that's never ending.
This is a pain I have to carry with me for the rest of my life, and they can't erase that from me.
The 55-year-old was pulled over, handcuffed, and put behind bars dozens of times. Ticketed for things like driving without updated license tags or expired insurance.
It's a way of trying to manage life when you have 2 kids and make $32,000 a year and are a single parent.
At one point, Okoli had warrants in 11 municipalities, from Florissant to Ferguson to Normandy, sometimes sitting in jail for days.
My life was being impacted greatly. My kids were missing their mother, not knowing when she was going to come home from jail.
It wasn't until Okoli was introduced to Arch City Defenders that she finally realized she wasn't in this fight alone. Okoli was 3 of 52 debtors' prison class action lawsuits the legal advocacy group filed between 2014 to 2024.
The basic argument in those cases that we've made is that treating someone differently because they don't have money is a constitutional violation.
Calling the abuse debtors' prisons. Executive Director Blake Strode claims this went on for years, Michael Brown's death bringing the situation to light.
It helped a lot of people to gain a better understanding of why there was so much upset and outrage.
Arch City Defenders worked to change that mistreatment. a new report revealing the impact made by sweeping reforms.
What we've seen are drops in municipal court revenues and tickets and warrants of not, 10, 15%, but of 70, 80, 90%.
The report shows from 2014 to 2023, municipal court revenue in Ferguson dropped by 95.2%. Tickets issued declined by 91.8%, and warrants issued decreased by 95.3%.
Through settlements of those cases, we've been able to collect millions of dollars.
But no amount of money can bring back the time lost.
I wish it was enough money so that my son doesn't have to look back on that with hurt. I wish it was enough money to give me back my dignity.
Let's make sure we have all the...
While the past decade brought positive change, Strode believes the problem is far from over, calling for a consolidation of St. Louis's municipal courts.
We haven't been bold enough as a region to adopt that kind of transformation.
It's a brave move that must be done to move our region forward.
I'm hopeful that people are in the fight to make change, but yet the change is so slow.
All right, great report there, Mercedes. Well, continuing coverage, a heads up this morning if you usually ride the train in the Metro East. Metrolink is pausing service in parts of East St. Louis. No trains will operate between the East Riverfront and the Emerson Park Metrolink stations. This includes the station at 5th and Missouri. Metro will be conducting track maintenance work all weekend. Service will resume tomorrow morning.